So this question was asked a while ago in a team audit, and I just thought it was interesting. So the question was just how do you acquire running backs without overpaying? The answer is it's hard because everybody, no matter what the running back is, who the running back is, it's almost always overvalued just because there's such a positional scarcity, and everybody doesn't want to move a running back without getting a running back back. So how do you acquire them at value without overpaying and not, ruining yourself for the future? The first tip I have for avoiding or acquiring running backs without overpaying, avoid the guys like Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Najee, DeAndre Swift. And you could probably throw Breece Hall into that mix now too. I think he's already kind of in that essence. The big thing with that is these guys are just already top tier. It's the same thing across the board at all positions. It's hard to acquire the guys that are solidified in that top tier talent. It's just hard. You're not going to get them without overpaying. And not saying that a lot of the overpays aren't kind of worth it for what you're adding to your team, but you shouldn't be overpaying when you have little assets to start with. If you're a team that just kind of chills with the draft picks that you're given and you're not adding assets down the road and churning over assets to get picks and players back and increasing your asset pool, definitely not a move you should be making. You shouldn't be diluting your whole run of assets to make moves at these guys. The second bit I have is the cheapest way to get running backs is to draft them. If you're drafting them, whether it's a startup, whether it's a rookie draft, but the important thing in the rookie draft and even your startups is to not overdraft them, and particularly in rookie drafts. I mean, we saw it this year already. Guys that we thought were overdrafted in a lot of our mock drafts. James Cook was one that we felt was pretty overdrafted.
Big time.
Dameon Pierce was one we felt was kind of overdrafted in some drafts. Some drafts he went pretty appropriately, but Tyler Algier was another one I thought was overdrafted a lot of the time. And Tyron Davis-Price, another one that I thought was overdrafted from time to time. If you have guys that are solidified in that top tier, like this year, for example, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and after that, it's pretty murky. Whatever discussion or conversation you want to have. Rachaad White still day 2 draft capital in a murky situation behind Leonard Fournette, clearly behind Leonard Fournette. He's not going to start over him. Tyron Davis-Price, murky situation in San Francisco. He's going to get an opportunity, but I know a lot of us didn't like him as a prospect to begin with. Interesting room there. So draft them, but don't be reaching on them over better talent. When you have Chris Olave at the 108 or 109, but you also have Dameon Pierce sitting there and you need a running back, don't go draft Dameon Pierce just because you need a running back and you think he's going to have great opportunity this year, when you could have a wide receiver who I think is going to has an argument to be a top 15 dynasty wide receiver for the span of his career. Then another way to get them without overpaying, buy low, post-injury, after a down year, committee running backs or ambiguous backfields is a great time to buy, or a great situation to buy, especially if you can get an edge on the players in your league around you. What are they doing? Are they just lowered on these guys? Are they not paying attention to the camp news? Do they still think James Cook is going to be the running back 1 over Devin Singletary, even though everything we're hearing out of camp is saying that Devin Singletary is still the 1 right now? Things like that. Devin Singletary, arguably a great buy low right now, and I think we can both agree there. But post-injury or after a down year, Saquon's a double down of that. After an injury, had a down year. We've seen running backs do really well after they come back a full season after an ACL tear. The last way to acquire running backs at value without overpaying, or the last way I have for y'all today, 1-year rentals, 1 to 2 year rentals, play redraft. James Conner, Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, great examples right now. Whether you're higher or lower on those guys, you can get them for a heck of a lot cheaper right now than a J.K. Dobbins or obviously a Javonte Williams or a Najee Harris, whatever you want to get out of that top tier. And honestly, they're probably going to put up similar numbers by year's end. Ezekiel Elliott is a great one you can buy low on 2 right now. I think he's a little lower than the other guys I mentioned, but if you're getting a running back 2 for whatever value, a lot better than spending the farm when you don't have the assets to spend to go get one of those top tier guys. At the end of the day, sometimes the less sexy running backs just have to be enough, especially, like I said, not damaging your roster in the long term, because diluting your assets is a great way to get yourself into a hole that is going to take years to crawl out of, when you should be trying to accrue assets and just kind of keep greasing the wheel over time. It's just not great. But top tier running backs are a huge investment, and more often than not, one of my greatest dynasty mistakes is spending way too much to grab overhyped running backs. Over the last 2 years, Antonio Gibson was a guy last year. He was okay, but never really great last year. Another guy, Miles Sanders, a couple years back, a lot of hype around him. Spent a lot to go get him. Don't buy in on the overhyped running backs, for one. Don't buy in on the big names. Buy low after down years or injuries, whatever you can do. And those 1 year rentals are a big deal. Go get running backs that, if you can't draft them, go get running backs that aren't going to cost a huge detriment to the longevity of your team.
And looking at just some DLF ADP, we'll start at running back 19. Antonio Gibson very well could lead that backfield. Leonard Fournette, David Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Elijah Mitchell, A.J. Dillon, James Conner, Miles Sanders. Tony Pollard at running back 30 is another guy I like. Damian Harris at running back 31 could have a fantastic season. There's value here in this range, and these are guys you don't have to overpay for. Everyone's down Elijah Mitchell because TDP is there. Elijah Mitchell is still the starting running back for the 49ers until further notice. Miles Sanders has no competition. There's a possibility that, I don't know what Aaron Jones is going to do. Maybe A.J. Dillon has a great year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire could bounce back. Josh Jacobs. Everybody hates Josh Jacobs now. So there's some risk involved here. However, the ceiling is extremely high.
Well, that is it for this video. I do hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below your thoughts on the video itself. If you want to support this team and go deeper with us and get access to bonus content, written content, rankings, and our Discord community group chat, be sure to check out patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. It's a great way to support the brand and let us know that you want us to keep cranking out awesome content. And you get access to all of us 24/7. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video today, I'm sure you'll love this one too. Be sure to go check it out. But hey, that is it for me today. I'll see y'all in the next one. But until then, y'all have a good one.